falls 25 feet from a roller coaster and remains conscious. It happened this afternoon on a super loop in Atlantic City, just as the 10-car train was slowing down. Authorities say the power had been turned off and the boy either jumped thinking the ride was over or just fell out. Amazingly, he was still able to move his arms and legs. The boy's age and medical condition are not being released. And 2 children are in critical condition and 16 other people injured after a giant tree limb falls on top of them at a park festival. It happened outside a recreation area in Waco, Texas. The children were gathered next to a dunking booth. Authorities still don't know what caused that branch to snap.
A follow-up now to a story you saw on Tuesday's Night Beat right here. Members of a Michigan animal rights group holding a candlelight vigil to show support for ferrets around the state. This was sparked by a controversy that involved one little critter named Kelly, who allegedly bit someone and will likely have to be killed in a rabies test. Kelly had been missing, and his owner was arrested for refusing to give him up, but the animal has since been returned. And the accolades are continuing to pour in for a man you saw last night here on the Night Beat, a paraplegic whose courage and quick thinking saved a life when he leaped from his wheelchair and dove into a swimming pool to rescue a woman who was lying on the bottom in 8 feet of water. Today, the Indiana resident received the Hoosier Hero Award, given by one of his state senators, Dan Coates.
On tonight's Health Beat, we all hate it. Now, road rage is getting some blame for an increase in highway deaths. Figures show almost 42,000 people died on the nation's highways last year, and that nearly 1/3 of the crashes and 2/3 of the deaths were attributed to aggressive driving. A clinical psychologist told the House committee he considers road rage to actually be a mental disorder.
Also on tonight's Health Beat, a class action trial over breast implants will continue. A New Orleans judge reversing her decision yesterday to stop the trial because the plaintiff's lawyer had been a little too charming. She said that he had prejudiced the jury through his eye contact and his body language. Plaintiffs claim Dow Corning did not test silicone properly and concealed the dangers.
We have some preliminary results to a new survey asking heavy-set people to rank their reasons why they couldn't or wouldn't lose weight. In Arkansas, the majority says they're just too busy. In Washington, they say they don't like wasting food. Folks in Louisiana not liking exercise seems to be the reason. And in Alaska, many said there are too many holidays with good food. We'll have more when we get the final numbers in.
Well, straight ahead here on the Night Beat tonight, we're going to be thinking about the weekend, and will we be sweating or might we have a washout? I don't know what the weather's, but Hilton's going to tell us with the 5-day forecast next.
And then, as the GHO gets closer, the deadline approaches, everybody's waiting for an answer as to whether or not Tiger Woods will be coming to Cromwell. Joe Tessitore has the latest just ahead.
And here's something that has its ups and downs with no strings attached. Well, actually, they are attached. We're taking you to the actual yo-yo contest on Channel 3 Eyewitness News, Connecticut's news station.
Do you want a fun day for your family that's totally free? Then come to Family Saturday in downtown Hartford's A&E district. Hello, I'm Hilton Kaderli. Join me and Big D 103's Jerry Christopher for the first ever Family Saturday on July 19th from 12 noon to 5 p.m. African drumming, the Hartford Ballet, Hansel and Gretel, music, magic, and more. It's all free. So connect the dots from the Carousel in Bushnell Park to Wadsworth Athenaeum. July 19th on Family Saturday.
This information just into Eyewitness News. An investigator in Miami is quoted as saying tonight that there appears to be now no connection between the murder on Tuesday of fashion designer Gianni Versace and the murder today of a Cuban doctor who, like Versace, apparently enjoyed a gay lifestyle. The search for Andrew Cunanan, the man suspected in the Versace killing, continues tonight.
Meantime, there is good news tonight for travelers to France. Workers at the Eiffel Tower have ended their 2-day strike, and once again, the country's top tourist destination is open to visitors. Workers had been protesting the dismissal of a colleague who had been rude to a British tourist, but now they say they're satisfied with management's explanation of the firing.
Well, there's one place you may want to stay away from right now, and that is the Gulf Coast of the United States. Watches and warnings are out there from Louisiana to Alabama. As Tropical Storm Danny heads that way, people in the affected areas are already boarding up and stocking up on supplies and in some cases packing up to leave. Danny is not a hurricane yet, but forecasters are predicting heavy wind and a lot of rain down there. no tropical trouble here, although it's been feeling sort of tropical around here lately. We're expecting the outdoors to become a lot more comfortable, though, once we get to the weekend.
And Hilton has the latest from the Channel 3 New England Weather Service. Good evening again, Hilton.
Donna, Al, before we get to our weekend forecast, some important changes you want to know about. I've got the very latest on Tropical Storm Danny. So let's go to the maps, and that's that pinwheel of clouds you see just south of the Gulf Coast of the United States. And Danny at this hour is about 40 miles offshore, and we've gotten a revision of where the tropical storm warnings and the hurricane watches are. The latest from the National Weather Service is a hurricane watch now in effect from Morgan City, Louisiana, all the way over to the western panhandle of Florida. Still just 60-mile-an-hour winds. There is a chance Danny could intensify to hurricane strength just before it makes landfall, drifting about 6 miles an hour, so it's not in a hurry tonight. All right, let's check 3 Live WeatherNet and see what we've got cooking here at the Channel 3 New England Weather Service. A temperature of 80 degrees, but it feels like 84 outside because of that tropical moisture. And around Connecticut tonight, temperature is generally from the 70s to the low to mid 80s. And as we put our lightning tracker into motion, you can see that this evening we did have a little bit of lightning pop up over parts of Connecticut from a band of showers that grew on the day's heat and moisture and moved through. Tomorrow at the beach, highs near 90, with water temperatures up to 70 in some places. And if you go out on the sound seas, 1 to 2 feet. For the weekend, drier, cooler air moves in, and it'll be a substantial change, but that collision tomorrow may touch off some thunderstorms. Your forecast for tonight, showers end, mild and muggy, 68 to 73. Tomorrow, another hot day, mostly sunny, thunderstorms late, temperatures in the 90s, but Saturday, 77 to 82 and dry. So the 5-day planner shows that the weekend is going to be very, very comfortable indeed. So we're looking forward to some very nice weather for this upcoming weekend. Much more comfortable, Donna.
Good to hear. All right, thanks, Hilton. NightBEAT Sports coming up next.
Here's Joe.
Tough to beat a forecast like that, but he's one of the few things to smile about when talking about Red Sox baseball. And tonight, that smile was a mile wide. Mighty Mo Vaughn. All right, damaged his knee this year. Now he's just damaging opposing pitching. And we've got some jolly good golf highlights. They call it simply the Open. We'll be very American and present to you day one of the British Open. Tee it up. The beat goes on. Next. Yankees designated hitter Cecil Fielder is called Big Daddy for a reason, but now Big Daddy has a little boo-boo. Today, Cecil underwent successful surgery on his fractured right thumb. He'll still be sidelined for 6 to 8 weeks. Yanks at Chi Sox tonight, and Chad Curtis looking to pick up the offensive slack. Who would ever thought they'd be depending on him? He gets the RBI double in the third 3-zip Yanks. Not much else needed. David Cohn freezes Harold Baines. Thanks for showing up, Harold. We have some lovely parting gifts. Tell him what he won, Johnny. Here's what the Yankees won. 4-2 over Chicago. Mariano Rivera gets his 30th save. Red Sox in Baltimore, and Rafael Palmeiro lets him know who's the show in the 7th. A solo shot ties things up at 7. But he's big, he's back, and he's busting out. Big Mo off Jesse Orozco. The blast makes it 9-7 Boston in the 8th. Mo's 22nd. And how about them Red Sox helping out the Yankees 12-9. Boston had 21 hits. Is there anything better than a great defensive play on the grass diamond? Many try it, few can do it, but the Mets' Ray Ordonez is one of the very few that can do it brilliantly. Against the Cubs in the 10th, Ordonez plays the hero. Barehanded, and the diving throw. Unreal. In the bottom of the 10th, Butch Husky wins it. The RBI single brings in Edgardo Alfonso. The Mets snap a 3-game slide, 4-3. Ordonez, just awesome. A published report says Tiger Woods will not be playing at the Greater Hartford Open. According to a British reporter, Woods will skip the event, then play the week after. Now, I spoke with GHO Chairman John Bates this afternoon. He said, that's news to us. I don't know whether he's coming or not. Bates said the tournament's not depending on Tiger Woods. Of course, Woods has until tomorrow at 5 in the afternoon to make up his mind. That's when Bates will round out his committed field. Of course, the reason that GHO is having problems with the big names committing is because of that little tournament across the pond. First round of the British Open, Royal Troon treated few royally. This is Jim Furyk, but he gets it to go. The big bird, why not? Drops it, goes on to shoot a 67. Then Darren Clark from even further back, just off the green, gives it all he has, and it treats him well. Clark from Northern Ireland should be a force on the European Ryder Cup team. Here's where it stands for British Open number 126. Clark and Furyk at 4 under. Couples, Norman, Leonard, the big names lingering at 2 under. As for the notables, Tiger Woods, 1 over, had a 435-yard drive on the 4th hole today, and you see Colin Montgomery, who many had as the favorite, at 5 over. Well, the NFL summer camping has begun. Cowboys wideout Michael Irvin is expected to join their team tomorrow. Giants get going in Albany, and as for the Patriots, new head coach Pete Carroll rode his bike onto the field for the first time today. The Pats opened camp with better news. They signed their first-round pick, defensive back Chris Canny, and it's expected that holdout utility player Dave Meggett will see action tomorrow. Does this mean summer is over now? We have football highlights going on here. It's hard to believe. Football just starts earlier and earlier every year.
It does feel that way.
Right in the middle of it.
Thank you, Joe. Stay with us. The newsreel is coming right back.
Parts of the show y'all at home have never seen.
Thank God we're not live.
What in the...
Give me one reason, Oprah, why I can't be on your show.
But now you're here.
I ain't finished, Oprah.
What is going on here?
So I was wondering if I could have your left boot.
No.
I want to see you suck in your face like you did on TV.
Wild show moments you never saw till now. Next Oprah.
Join us at 4, right here on Channel 3.
Hi, you're just in time for the NightBEAT newsreel tonight. Come spin with us, no strings attached. That's the slogan for today's yo-yo contest in Hibbing, Minnesota. This fad's sweeping the area. Thousands of kids taking up the hobby now, and one teacher's been helping to promote yo-yoing by using the toys to teach physics in her class. Students say that it has its ups and downs.
Aw. How's this for a contest? Bell ringers in San Francisco. Most of the contestants here in the annual cable car bell ringing contest are part-time semi-pro musicians who can really belt out a tune, and they've got rhythm. The guys are good, and they make the most of it out there on the job every day.
Man, it's all in the wrist there.
It is.
That'll do it for us. Nathan Lane is going to be one of the guests on David Letterman coming up next.
Thanks for joining us. See you tomorrow. Good night.
Channel 3 Eyewitness News at 6, Connecticut's #1 newscast.